What's poppin', everybody? Cerebral4. So we got our ass handed to us by Metagross GX, a very unfavorable matchup last time. But today we're going up against one of the decks that I think we're pretty good at against, Rayquaza GX, a Pokemon that not only doesn't have a lot of HP for today's standards, 180, what would you know, is not so good anymore, people would say, that needs a lot of energies on it to work. So with just 3 and 3 on us, we get a knockout, and actually it's even better because it's a Pokemon that is weak to Fairy. Dragon Pokemon, all Dragon Pokemon are weak to Fairy these days. A bad thing, but I guess this is what Nintendo wants to do. Very just simple weakness mechanics on the types, not any much variety. But since Rayquaza GX is weak to Fairy, it doesn't have a lot of HP and needs a lot of energy on it to attack. It needs 3 to make its attack. It's one of the easiest matchups for Gardevoir GX, I guess. The only way it's a bad matchup is if they, they go turbo. By turn 1, they have like 6 energies in play, and they start to kill you before you can even do anything. I mean, Gardevoir or Sylveon, what I meant to say. Sylveon GX kind of counters that. We didn't open with it in this case, but if we open up with Eevee and get into Sylveon GX, he's going to need a few energies to get the KO on that Pokemon. And we should get our pieces to have Gardevoir GXs ready by the time, he's ready. So, it's not like it's an auto loss for Rayquaza GX, or maybe it is, but I would say this is one of the decks Gardevoir has a very clear advantage of. Any Dragon deck, basically, besides, I would say, maybe Altaria GX, because that blocks you and we don't have that many outs. Besides that, I'd say it's against Dragon decks, of course, Gardevoir GX should probably destroy them. So even though I didn't open with Eevee, we're going to get it right now with Pokenav, though. Pokemon Navigator. I do have the Nest Balls in hand, so that's the important thing. We're going to get our guys out soon. And the crazy thing is that you don't even have to rely on, Gardevoir GX, just Sylveon GX with a Fairy Energy and you just grab a DC. With 110 you do 220. That's enough to get the knockout. There's no Fury Belt for Rayquaza GX, and that's really just doesn't help with that much anyway against a Fairy deck like this. So, I said it's probably not an auto loss, but it probably is. Rayquaza GX, it's very difficult for it to win against a deck like this, especially with Sylveon GX. It's just so easy. You attach 1, the Eevee is Sylveon GX already. Look, I just used Cynthia seeing the DCs. We have basically all of our routes. I could have gotten another one, but we're just going to get Xerneas. Even Xerneas, with just 3 energies on, can take care of Rayquaza GX in 1 hit, and it doesn't even give 2 prizes. So it's not the best matchup for good old Rayquaza GX. Sorry about that, pal. So my opponent going to use Volkner. He already has 2 Rayquaza GXs out. Each of them have a Grass Energy on. He's going to grab another Nest Ball and Lightning Energy with Volkner. Has a Tapu Lele GX. And I would imagine he did some shit. But he needs to pick up the pace because, yeah, going to get the little grub in there. It's these versions with Vikavolt. You can use either Tapu Bulu GX or Rayquaza. They both have advantages and disadvantages. You know what? I would say that Tapu Bulu might be like the better Pokemon, because he doesn't have a weakness. You have more flexible options with his attacks, and just you don't have to worry about matchups like Gardevoir GX. And yeah, Rayquaza GX has the GX attack where you can draw 10, but your opponent can fuck that up too. So if you're going with, Rayquaza might be more consistent because I have that attack too. There's ways around it. So as you guys can see, this is one of the things you can do against this deck as well. And I think people realize Rayquaza GX maybe isn't so good, trying to trade them away. Is my opponent used the GX attack, drew 10, but now he's going to give me 10 because I used Copycat and get my damn Gardevoir GX, get my use Tapu Lele, got Copycat, and get my own 10 cards. We got all these pieces, so Gardevoir GX is going to come out. Nice. So, He doesn't have a lot of energies on Rayquaza, so I probably can't even get a one-hit knockout if I wanted to with Gardevoir, but it doesn't matter. We have the switch. We're just going to use Sylveon GX and already put the pressure, get the knockout, and my opponent is already in a very troublesome situation. This is going to be a very fast game, as you guys can see. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I think it's quite obvious that, this game is easily mine. Uh, he'll be lucky if he gets like one knockout maybe. Okay, so Rare Candy, Vikavolt is going to come out. So maybe he can get like 5 energies in play. So with 5 energies, 5 times 3, that's about 150. So he needs a few more. He needs like one more in a choice band if he wants to get the knockout. Or just, let's see, he's going to use Wishful Baton. Now I guess this is one of the ways this deck can recover. And maybe it's one of the best sort of hopes you have if you're going to have a chance against Gardevoir, because even though I get one-hit knockouts, this deck can get one-hit knockouts too once it gets ready. And if they have the baton there, Wishful Baton, you don't get rid of it, and they manage to save the energies, put it to another Rayquaza, then they get attack, retaliate again, get another knockout. You only have so many Gardevoir GXs, so you might want to be careful. Rayquaza GX is a basic Pokemon. He is faster. It's more easy to use, I guess. So I don't know, man. Maybe you do have a chance. Maybe people still need to figure out how to run this deck. Maybe with more support. Even though Dragon Majesty came out, I'm trying to think how that set can help Rayquaza, because it lost Max Elixir. It lost a bunch of cards. Well, so Sylveon GX gets knocked out. So my opponent putting up a fight, not giving up. That's good. And I mean, it really is easy for me. I don't even think I need to invest more energies on Gardevoir. Just with one, he can get the knockout. And what are we going to do? I really don't have much of a choice here. We're going to have to use Apricot Maker and get the Ultra Ball, just so I get another Gardevoir GX out. I have such a big hand, there's no point using Cynthia or even worse, Liza. So we're going to use our Ultra Ball there. Discard, let's see, the Eevee, I don't think I need that anymore. And perhaps, I think the Lily. I don't think I need Lily anymore. We're going to have big hands and shit. So Gardevoir GX, and I get another one out. It's really rough with my opponent. Like, if I get the Xerneas out, I can even use that, and he gets the job done. So, I mean, it'd be good if we saw like I had a way to get Field Blower in hand so we can get rid of his baton there. However, it really just, using Cynthia, shuffling a big ass hand like that is not cool. Oh well. So let's see. Put an energy on Gardevoir. Let's put one on Routes too. That's better maybe, instead of just trying to put 3 on Xerneas. I mean, Gardevoir can get the job done with 1. So I should get the other one out too soon. And get the KO again on Rayquaza GX. And even though, with the baton, he's going to be able to retaliate and get another knockout next turn, probably. Now we get the Field Blower. He's in a situation with once basically you're in a position like this, 2 prizes left, and you have 2 Gardevoir GXs out. What are they going to do to win? They can't really do anything. If they're going to keep Rayquaza and keep the pressure going, attacking, they're going to die no matter what. He just can't survive against Gardevoir GX. It's just, Gardevoir GX is just too much of a power Pokemon. And when you have a weakness to it and you need 3 energies to work, only have 180 HP, it just seems like it's going to die automatically no matter what. So, putting up a good fight, he got 2 more prizes. But Gardevoir GX is going to finish the job. That's just how it is. I don't even need to do anything more. We're going to bench the routes, but that's it. Just attach one more energy to Gardevoir GX, Infinite Force, and it's GG. So, like I've said, one of the easier matchups for Gardevoir GX, I suppose. A good little deck maybe for this format. It's not the best deck, I'd say, but it's a nice little deck. I guess one of the better Stage 2 decks if you're going to run, since things slowed down. Maybe Gardevoir is not so bad. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys subscribe, leave a like, share this with your friends. We're going to look at other decks now, And I'll see you guys next time. What's up?